Hey, Keith Shovlin, Keith's Friday Night Reads. Second book this week is The Men Who Would Be King, the almost epic tale of movies moguls and a company called Dreamworks by Nicole LaPorte. Now, nonfiction book telling the story of David Geffen, Steven Spielberg, and Jeffrey Katzenberg coming together to form Dreamworks Studios in the 1990s, and then it goes right up to about 2009, so just after the subprime mortgage economic crisis, the Great Recession, beginning of the Obama presidency, and about the time when it was just after DreamWorks Animation had gone public, and the rest of DreamWorks it originally sold to Paramount, then sold from Paramount, and looking to get purchased again by, maybe it was NBC in the end. It was pointed out early on in the book that neither of the three were interested in being interviewed by Nicole LaPorte for the book. So she didn't have any firsthand information from those three, but she had extensive interviews with others, all done on background. Very few people were willing to talk to her and, put their name down on it. So now for nonfiction books, I have a simple rule. If I enjoy the book and I learned something valuable, like really learned something, then it's definitely a 5 out of 5. If I just enjoyed the book and it's okay, 4 out of 5. Now, where you start losing stars with me on nonfiction is when you start getting things wrong. And unfortunately, this book, I know certain things ended up being wrong in hindsight from when the book came out. But the glaring thing was, at one point in the book, they're talking about how they were looking at working with the estate of Dr. Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss, on an adaptation of Cat in the Hat. And in the book, she describes using Mike Myers to make that happen, and Mike Myers wanted to make that happen, and their connection being that Mike Myers worked with Ron Howard on The Grinch Stole Christmas. Problem is, Mike Myers wasn't in The Grinch Stole Christmas. That was a Jim Carrey movie with Ron Howard. Now, and then he goes on talking about Myers, and then it's kind of dropped. Like, they talk about working with Ron Howard and Imagine Entertainment with his partner, but Brian Glazer, but you don't hear any more about Cat in the Hat after that, which ended up being an atrocious movie because Mike Myers forgot that it's supposed to be a kid's movie and put a bunch of adult jokes in it, which is something because you think he would know from Shrek how to do it right, but no. But yeah, so that kind of stuck at me, that got the information wrong there, and it's kind of glaring. And like, I even jumped online and was checking IMDb, I was checking Wikipedia, I was checking blogs and everything. Am I getting this wrong? No. So that dropped it down, and just some of the way it was set up and the way it's sort of fawning over Steven Spielberg, which I can understand, but it's a bit too much. So for The Men Who Would Be King by Nicole LaPorte, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. If you're interested in the movie business, if you're interested in the politics behind the Oscars, that I would recommend this book for. But overall, 3 out of 5.